Hey fellas, I'm Jackson, and today we're doing a video game console tier list. Just before I get started, I want to say that I'm at 95 subscribers, and if you want to help me reach my goal of 100, I'd really, really appreciate it. Um, Recently, I got two new subscribers, which I was able to see the names of because they have that turned on. Kami Uzma and Fury. Tranquil Fury. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. And if you're watching this video, I'd love to see a comment from you guys. The subscription really means a lot. Two subscribers to a guy with less than 100 is insane growth because it's more than like a 2% increase. I mean, it's a lot for me, and thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And let's get right into this. I believe that's a Wii U. If that is a Wii U, it's going straight to F tier. Wait, let me see if the Wii U's on here. No, that's the Wii U. I actually don't know what this is. I might not know what a few of these are. Hang on. Is that a PS Vita? I think that's a PS Vita. I believe it's a PS Vita. Um, PS Vita, if that's what it is. Guess I'm kind of torn on. I don't know if I love it or hate it. Oh, that was not intentional. I mean, it's not bad. It plays games good. I mean, to my understanding, and it's portable, so that's cool. It's definitely not S or GOAT though. I'm gonna put it in A. I think that's fitting. The original Xbox. Okay. I just before we go into anything, I always grew up with PlayStation. I still have PlayStations. I have PS2, 3, and 4. So I'm not the biggest on Xbox, but I can certainly acknowledge the fact that it's the PS2 era version. Like this is the Xbox equivalent of the PS2, and I love the PS2 and the games on it and everything from that era. So I'm gonna have to put this one in S. This one, I do not, I don't know what this is. Um, I genuinely have no clue what that is. So I'm going to put it right in the middle of the list. I really, I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. The PS3 absolutely goaded 100%. That is, I mean, it's my personal favorite console, but probably tied with the PS2 for me, honestly. But I mean, it's what I grew up with from a very early age. My first ever real console was a PS2, and then a PS3 came later. But I mean, I've grown up with this thing for years and years and years, and the joy it's given me, the joy I've experienced with my brother playing games on it when we were kids, is just it's like nothing else. And oh my god, I still have one. I'm looking at it right now as I record, and it's my best friend. Let's see, we got this thing. Is this the Pong game thing? Yeah, there's another one where I don't entirely know what it is, so I'm gonna just put it there. Nintendo Switch. F. I hate it. No, that's too mean. I'm gonna put in B tier. I just don't like it. No, that's not true. I just don't think I like the people that have it. There's something about people who have a Nintendo Switch that I find kind of insufferable. It's also made by Nintendo, and Nintendo fucking sucks. So there's that. Um, I don't know, man. Like, I just really hate Nintendo and Nintendo fans. And oh my god, I mean, it's like the less shitty version of the Wii U. No, I'll move it up to C. Fine, that no higher than that. I would never personally buy one in a million years. I don't think. I mean, it's just oh boy, Nintendo sucks. If you don't know that, Nintendo is like one of the shittiest corporations in the world, and I hate them so much. Nintendo fans suck. Sorry, Lizzie, if you're watching this. Um, I just no, I don't like it, not one bit. It's better than the Wii U because the Wii U was like super stinky. That was like the shittiest thing known to man. But it's still not good in my opinion. I don't know. The GameCube, oh, that's an S tier. I'm not going to put it quite in GOAT because mainly because I never personally had one. But if I did, I'd probably put it in GOAT. But I mean, speaking as someone who never had one, only played one at his friend's house a few times, it was a lot of fun. The fact that it's purple and the cube is really cool because most consoles are black. And I mean, like look at this list. They're almost all black or white. The fact that it's purple has always stood out to me as being cool, especially because that's one of my favorite colors. And I mean, it's a classic. Everyone loves GameCube. You've seen all the memes of the intro thing. It's endless. It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. What is this one? Is that a Game Boy Advance? I can't quite tell. These images are too low resolution. No, that's a Game Boy Advance. I don't know what this one is. Yeah. So no, you know what? Here, let me just give me 1 second. Instead of just putting in the middle of the road, let me just do this. Good, good, good. All right. Now then, we got the N64, I believe. It's a classic. I never had one, but I've once again played one at my cousin's house, and it was a good time. I understand why people love it so much. This is one that I know that has a lot of translucent console variations, which is always awesome to me. Um, I mean, you can't go wrong with the translucent era of gaming. It just looks so cool. I think I'm going to put this one in. Let me say A tier. Yep. The Nintendo. Wait, no. Wait. Is this the N64? I'm forgetting now. No, no, no. I'm sorry. This is the SNES. Yeah. Once again, not big on Nintendo. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest looking consoles of all time. I love the design of it. I love the design of the controllers as well. And I mean, you can't really go wrong with the retro era. I know I said I hate Nintendo, but I mean, there is a certain part of nostalgia I can't really deny here. Like, for instance, the Wii is going to go up really high. I guarantee you that when we get to it. Um, let's see. I don't quite know where to put this. No, I think it fits comfortably in A tier. This one, sorry, I don't know what that is. And this one, I do not know what that is. And this one, I do not know what that is. I apologize greatly. PS1, that is GOAT. I mean, it was around before the Xbox even existed. It's the classic. It's what really set off the like the console wars. And Xbox came along in the next generation, and they've been fighting it out ever since. And I mean, the PS1 just had so many great games. You ever heard of LSD Dream Emulator? It's a game where it's just an actual like acid trip, and it's for the PS1. And it's reason I'm contemplating actually getting a PS1 just to play that game, even though it costs a lot of money. And I love the graphics from that era. I love old games. You're going to see a lot of that. That the new consoles are going to go a lot lower, and the old ones go higher. But yeah, this one I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. The Game Boy, absolutely goated, no doubt. That is a goat. I have a Game Boy. It is extremely sun damaged. It has sticker marks all over it. My dad found it on the side of the road like 20 years ago. No joke. And I've had so many good times with it. My dad literally just found it lying in the road like before I was even born, and he found it with a copy of Pokemon Red in it, and I played the crap out of the game when I was younger. I 100%ed it using the glitches, and I've had so many good times with it. I mean, I'm still having good times with it to this day. I keep getting games from my local retro game store for it, and just the physical design of the console is, I think, as perfect as you can get for portable gaming devices. Not the functionality, because it's far from perfectly designed, but it just looks so cool. I think it just looks amazing. The screen sucks. The screen is terrible. The fact that it has no light whatsoever and you cannot play this game in the dark. Like, you need an active light source for the game to work. That is a big drawback, but I love it so much. I really do. Let's see, I believe that's the Xbox One. Ooh, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the newer consoles, nor am I a big fan of Xbox. I prefer PlayStation, so I think no, that was not. It's not F tier, but I'm hesitant to even put it in average. I think I'm gonna have to put in D tier. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the newer stuff, nor am I a fan of Xbox really. Oh, the Virtual Boy, the worst selling console of all time. Well, yeah, there's nothing we can really do about that now, is there? If you don't know about this, it was the first real iteration of virtual reality. It was an attempt by Nintendo, and it was the worst thing imaginable. The headset was on a tripod. You couldn't like there were no head straps. You didn't wear it. You would set it on a table and just like look into it like a telescope. And the graphics were terrible, like worse than the Game Boy. It was all black and red, and like it was black with like red lines making up everything. It looked like something out of Tron, the movie, and it controlled terribly. It sold less than 1 million units. It was really bad. Yeah, I mean, there's no debate there. That's easy F. PC. Ugh, PC. Where to put PC? I've never really been a PC gamer. The only game I've really ever played on PC is Terraria because I originally got it on my PS3. If you didn't know, there's a version of Terraria for the PS3, and it's not great. It's still fun, but it's missing a lot of stuff that the new versions have, obviously, because it's like the old gen version. And that's really the only thing I've ever used PC gaming for seriously. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. I just lean more towards consoles in general. It is very nice having a mouse instead of joystick sometimes for certain games, especially when you're trying to aim a gun. But it's really just not my thing. I think I'm gonna just put in C tier. I think it's average. It's not bad, but it's just not really my cup of tea. Ooh, the Wii U, yeah, it's easy F tier. So fun story about the Wii U. Even as a child, when I was like 8 years old, I saw the commercials on Nickelodeon while I was watching SpongeBob for the Wii U, talking about this brand new, exciting console by Nintendo that was going to be portable. And even back then, I was like, that looks stupid. If I saw a kid with that, I'd be like, haha, you got a Wii U. It's even as a child, even as a very young child, like elementary school age, I thought that was the stupidest thing ever. And everyone else did too. I was not alone on that. It sold terribly. It was just surpassed by its big brother, the Switch. But yeah, the Wii U sucks. I mean, when you have the Wii, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Wii was perfect. Then they moved to the Wii U and everyone hated it because the Wii is so much better in every conceivable way. I hate the Wii U. It sucks. I believe that's the SNES. Um I'm just gonna have to put it along with the NES. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. It's better a little bit, barely. It looks worse in my opinion. Um but hey, I mean, plays a lot of the same games. It functions good. It's fun. Can't really go wrong with it. The DS, oh boy, yeah, that is a goat. Um, if you don't love the DS, yeah, like if you never had a DS, you were missing out as a kid. I did. I had two actually. Something fun happened to the first one. One day, as kids do, me and my sister were fighting over whose turn it was on the DS because we only had one, and there's multiple of us, and we ended up just playing tug of war with it, essentially trying to grab it from each other. We grabbed the two different screens, and we ended up just ripping the thing in half by accident. I'm not kidding. We just ripped the two screens apart from each other, like by the hinges, and then we went on to my mom took sympathy on us, and she got us another one for Christmas, but we ended up turning the top screen into a you can't see it right now, but I'm making air quotes, a supercomputer for a little Lego world that we had in the basement on a table, where we just built like a little laboratory thing full of little guys doing science stuff, and we just had the top screen of the broken DS as like a big like computer screen in there. We made do. But yeah, the DS, I've had so many good times with that. The first game I really had for was Plants vs Zombies, and God, that was so much fun. Yeah, I'll never forget that. The Game Boy Advance, that is easily an S tier. I've always been more partial to the Game Boy because, admittedly, nostalgia mostly, but the Game Boy Advance is really, really great. I think it's super cool. You know, it just does everything the Game Boy does, but better, except for it looks worse, in my opinion. I know it functions better in every conceivable way, but in my opinion, it looks way, way worse in terms of physical console design. It's way more practical. It makes more sense to be laid out that way, but the original Game Boy just looks so cool. It's just immaculate design. The Wii. Oh, yep. We all know where this is going. That is an S tier, absolutely. Yep. I remember getting this for Christmas years and years and years ago. Um, it was actually a here's a bit of a sad story. It was actually a Christmas gift from my cousin to help me and my siblings cope with the divorce my parents were going through because he felt really bad for us and he was like, "Here, have a Wii to distract you." That was actually really nice. And the first game I mean my siblings had for it was New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and that game is still probably in my top 10 games of all time. Not just because of nostalgia, but it's so much fun to play. There is a nostalgia element there, but I mean the Wii, you know, like you had the character customizer thing. You had a lot of really good games where you had the fact that's motion controlled. The controllers are really cool. I think it's cool that you have the main controller and the nunchuck, and the menu and all those like iconic, memorable sounds of the like booting it up and just and it's designed perfectly. Look at it; it's a beautiful console. Um, it's one of the best. You can't deny it for a second. If you think it's not, there's something wrong with you. And so we got the PS4. Well, I definitely like it more than the Xbox One. I just realized that the PS5 and Xbox, whatever it's called, are not on this list. I think it's Xbox X, I think. Um, I'll just tell you where I would have put those at the end. Um, the PS4, I actually just got one. I am not kidding. I just got one yesterday. It's the cool white version that I think just looks cool and it costs no more than the black one. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll get that one. Um, the only reason I bought it is just to revisit just a couple of games, mainly Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and the Hitman game. Oh, and also Outlast, because those three are some of my favorite games of all time, and I've been unable to revisit them for the longest time because I used to have a PS4, but then my brother took it with him to college, and then when he moved out, he also just took it with him to his apartment, and I didn't really mind. But as time's gone on, I've just missed those three games specifically, and I just got one to revisit it, and I really do kind of like the design, but it's also not nearly as good as the PS3 in my opinion. It just it has some games for it that I miss a little bit. Let me clarify something. If I could get Outlast, Black Ops 3, not the stupid PS3 version, and Hitman and the newer Hitman games for the PS3, I wouldn't probably never buy a PS4. So I'm not the biggest fan. I'm just a fan of some of the games for it. The console is okay. I'm going to put in B tier. I think that's a PSP, I believe. PSP, I'm very, very drawn on. I mean, I kind of love it and I kind of hate it at the same time. I don't really know. I mean, like, it's kind of cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of these kind of like completely unnecessary, like we could have lived without them type of thing. Consoles, but they're portable versions. Like the Wii U is the best example. Who the hell is buying a Wii U over a Wii? Nobody. Who the hell buys a PSP over like a PS2 or three? No, nobody. If you do, there's something seriously wrong with you. I mean, and it's like it's not bad. It's just kind of impractical. I don't know why you'd ever get one as opposed to like one of the actual consoles. I'm gonna put in B tier along with the PS4. The Xbox 360, that is an S tier. I never had one, but I've had a lot of memories made for it because my best friend has one that me and my other friends would go over to his place and just play these games on all the time, especially namely Halo Reach. We still do to this day. We just every time we come over, we're just booting up Halo Reach, and I always fall for the the hologram. I always do it, and they always make fun of me, and it always really hurts my ego. And there's just the Xbox 360. Even though I never had it, I can absolutely admit that it's a classic. It's one of the best, and you know, it's it's like nothing else really. The PS2, that is another goat. I'm just now realizing that that is the 3DS and that's the DS, but that will not change my thoughts on it. The PS2 is, like I said earlier in the video, it's tied with the PS3 for my favorite console of all time. I'm gonna put them together. There we go, nice and snug. The PS2 is the first real console I ever had, apart from like plug and play games, and nostalgia is a thing that is like I have a lot of that for it, but it is also just there's nothing quite like it. I love old games, but like sometimes the PS1 games are so old that they're just frustrating because they're kind of like completely dysfunctional. The PS2 was the perfect era of gaming where games were like old but not too old. Like early 3D stuff, like after, like arcade games and things that are 2D, but before like, this hyper realistic PS5 stuff we have now, just perfectly sandwiched in between those two eras is just the PS2 and all its games. And it's very simple. It's got a very simple menu. And I can't, I will never, not for a second, like stop loving the menu sounds, the just like the sound that you booted up, that blah sound, and just the very familiar beep of turning it on and everything. And here's a fun story about that. This one, once again, I got for Christmas years and years and years and years ago. And um, the first game we ever got for it, me and my brother, was Lego Indiana Jones. And um, we got it without a memory card, so we were not able to save progress for any game until we got a memory card, which was way later on because it's when we were so young that we didn't have any money of our own to spend on a memory card. And and we tried over and over to complete the entirety of Lego Indiana Jones in one sitting, and we it was sometimes we would get like not close at all, but we would make some progress, and it would always be stopped by that very that dreaded phrase, "It's time for bed," and we would have to turn it off and try again tomorrow. Just do the entire game in one sitting without turning it off. And oh my gosh, just yeah, good times, good times. It's like nothing else. And I just love it. I love it so much. Next up and lastly, we got the Nintendo DS. That is another goat. Just along with the 3DS, it is a classic. I'm sorry I made that mistake. I do believe that's the 3DS and this is the DS. You can't go wrong with it. The DS is an absolute classic. It provided my Lego City with a supercomputer, and just it was just the predecessor to the 3DS, and we all love the 3DS now, don't we? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's the finished tier list. I'm really sorry that I don't know what any of these are. These all look extremely foreign to me. Like I don't recognize a single one of them. And but yeah, Virtual Boy and Wii U absolutely suck. And if you watched all the way to the end, I really appreciated it. I love you very much. If you want to subscribe, I'd really, really appreciate it. I got a 100 subscriber special planned, and I'll see you around.